Hello everybody, it's me, and I'm back. A very late hour, but I've just remembered I have a very important video I need to do. And this video is my Q&A answers video, and I want to get it out the way because I will not have time, today now, later on, I am busy, so I will not get a chance to actually get this video done at all tomorrow, or could I say it later on today, because it is now the 8th of the time we'll be doing this. It is a little bit late. It's essentially a day late. This Q&A, the answers video. It was supposed to be yesterday, but hey ho, I progress and I will carry on. So I'm gonna get straight into this with the answers. I haven't got very many, but I haven't got much time. I need to get to bed, so I'm gonna get this done. So I'm gonna start off with three questions that was sent to me by Chris Riley on the Nosy Info page, and he was the only guy that actually did it, hence why I'm starting with him. Right, so the first question of the three, it says, what is your favourite figure that is not a masterpiece figure? So let's obviously talk about Transformer there. Well, I have to say, for me, I had to go back to the Beast Wars figure line, because Beast Wars is awesome, and it is my G1. So I have to say, even though in essence it has been given a masterpiece treatment, but we've yet to actually get this thing actual in hand. It's not actually been released yet. But I'm obviously talking about the masterpiece Beast Wars Primal. That is actually getting a masterpiece figure, but I'm talking about the original release that was back in '95 or '96. That ever since we're getting that figure, I've been wanting it ever since we've been a kid, and I've never had it as a kid. And me being a big fan of Beast Wars Primal, I wanted that toy. We never got. I don't think we had an Optimus Primal figure in the local toy shop back at the time. We only had other versions of the toys, but at the time, I used to have a Rat Trap when I was younger. I had some others from Beast Machines as well. But yeah, so that has to be my favourite figure that isn't a masterpiece. It has to be the original '95 Optimus Primal figure for me. It might be a bit boring for some people, but that is my opinion. That is my favourite for me. Um, so number two, what anime have you heard about but not seen? I'm going to have to go quick on this one because there's a lot of anime that I know about and not seen. My list is constantly growing of interest. But an anime I would say that I haven't yet seen but is very, very loved has to be Exclaflone. Exclaflone? I believe Exclaflone is a mecha anime, and I've not seen it at all. I've not seen it in its full duration series. So I have to say that's a series I've known about, wanted to see for a while, but never have. And I hope at some point this year that will be certainly ticked off my list. So Escaflowne, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I have to say for that one. And then number three, what three football grounds would you want to visit in your life? One has to be Barcelona. I'd love to go to their ground. I don't know why, but I would just love to go to that one. Second, I would love to go to Old Trafford. Old Trafford, which is Man United's ground. I'm a Man United fan. Second to Hull City, because I'm a Hull City fan first, because I live in Hull. But Old Trafford, I've never been. I've never been. I've been wanting to do it for a few years, but I've never been able to get the time off work to do it. But Old Trafford has to be my number two. And number three, um, I don't know. I don't know what my number three could be because I've been to Arsenal's ground, which is very recent. Um, what else? What can I say? Yeah, I was just gonna put Real Madrid, you know, or something like that. I don't know why, but I love the Spanish league clubs, and I'd love to check out some of them grounds, definitely. But I don't have the money for that. Anyway, so thank you very much for your questions, Chris Riley. That was awesome. So now, moving on to right, now moving on to the Transformers YouTube community page, where I initially gave these questions. So the first question here is from Chris Gaunt. Is it Gaunt? I apologize if that's wrong. If you could design a combiner, what would it be? Here we go. If you could design a combiner, well, for me, I've always been extremely drawn to combiners that are extremely heavy. Excuse me, that are heavily assaulted with weaponry. Hence why I've always loved Menasor. Um, Menasor, always has massive like weapons and things. Um, if I was to design one, I would design one that was based around that that was more like military. I know essentially Menasor is kind of that kind of images, but for me, I would design a combiner that was um, I would yeah, I'd definitely design a combiner that was more that had just shitloads of weapons, like just literally just massive guns that come out the arms, melee weaponry like swords, probably probably rocket launchers are coming out the back, and the alt modes for each part will probably be like tanks and aircrafts, essentially menace or onslaught, kind of like an onslaught type deal thing, or bludgeon type deal thing, just a massive, don't fuck with me combiner robot. I don't know, but yeah, let's gonna move on now. I hope that was pretty good. Um, Next question is from Richard Joseph Delafield. If you could cross an anime series with with Transformers, which would it be, and what's the pitch? Jesus, you're putting me on a spot here. Essentially, that has kind of happened. There has been anime-esque anime influences in Transformers fandom with the Takara trilogy, and also the Kiss Players thing, which is it's never been animated, but it's in like comic book format or in toy form. There's like a toy form anyway. Kiss Players is very frowned upon at some points, but also kind of like seen a bit interesting at the same time. Um, I don't know what I would do. Um, well, I would, I don't know. You've really put me on a point here. I don't know what I would put anime-esque with the Transformers themselves and what would be the plot for it or the pitch. Um, I don't know. I really don't know. I apologise. I can't answer that at this moment in time. It's just, I mean, for me, if I had to say something, the anime side of it would, for me, my favourite anime is usually horror. I love horror anime because the Japanese are extremely psychological when it comes to horror, and I pretty well. I just love Japanese horror, and we've never had a horror-based Transformers series ever. And I don't really think it would appeal to everybody, but I think maybe if I don't know, it's kind of like some sort of some character, maybe an Autobot, kind of goes completely fucking looped and he just goes around killing everybody. killing all the Autobots, Decepticons. He just goes on a massive fucking rampage. So basically, like a Transformers slasher movie, something like that, but with a shitload of gore. So basically, if you think about like Last Stand of the Records, that kind of thing, where essentially all like there's death around every corner. All your favourite characters are just literally ripped apart and in front of your eyes while you're reading the comic book. I would essentially kind of like do that, but put in like the Japanese anime twist of the horror, which is just fucking twisted. I'll just make a very twisted. That's all I'm gonna say for now. I really don't know what else to say about that. Next is Dave Shotton. You've got £5 in your pocket and you are starving. What do you buy from Greggs to satisfy your hunger? First of all, I'm not actually a big fan of Greggs. I prefer skeletons, Coupons. Well, not Coupons. Coupons are shit. Well, we don't really have skeletons anymore, do we? Unfortunately, Coupons kind of took that over. Well, if I had to answer the question out of Jace, I would say just sausage roll. I'd say I'd just get like maybe 4 sausage rolls, whatever they, sausage rolls to quench my hunger. I'm not a big Cornish pasty fan. Never been a pasty fan at all. So yeah, I'd probably just get a sausage roll to be so plain and boring. Right, next. Darren Lacey. Darren Lacey? Is that his name, I think? If you were a Transformer, what faction would you belong to, and what would your alt mode be? Well, I think I've had similar questions to this in the past when I've done alt Q&As. Personally, if I could choose, I wouldn't be to a faction. I would like to be like Lockdown. Lockdown. He is a bounty hunter. He has his own agenda. He only works with either the Decepticon or the Autobot if it's good for him and he gets benefits from it. Or he and I like the idea of working on my own and not having to rules, not having to kind of like follow orders from everybody else. I follow my own agenda. I've always been very drawn to characters like that. Hence why, sorry about that. Hence why I'm a big fan of Deadpool. I know we're going off the topic of Transformers here, but Deadpool, he's always been a fan favourite for me from a Marvel character because he isn't an X-Man. He's not a superhero. He is his own person. He is a vigilante, mercenary, scum of the earth, but he is good at his job and he just slaughters people for fun. And he is completely the opposite of what an X-Man is. X-Men, he's completely the opposite of what you would call a super person or superhero. So for me, to go back to the Transformers thing, that would be it. But to answer your question, if I had to pick a faction just for the question's sake, I would probably be Decepticon because really the Decepticons don't really well. If you get in the way of Megatron, you probably might get your ass kicked or handed to you. But if you were skillful enough, you might be able to overthrow Megatron, and you could do what the fuck you wanted. Right. So, thank you for that one. Let's move on. Stuart Nicholson. Why can't I think of a decent question? I don't know. It's your brain we're talking about here. Not like I'm having a dig there. It's just I don't know why you can't think of a good question. Right, moving on. Adam Moore. Do you think we'll get 86 movie masterpiece this year aside from Hot Rod? I hope so. I'm actually really hoping that we'll get Masterpiece Decepticon figures for the first time this year. But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I am considering. I would like to get Hot Rod. I mean, we've got Ultra Magnus at Masterpiece, who essentially he was a character that was brought into the um, 86 movie as well, I think. We're getting Wheelie as well. We're getting a Wheelie figure, I believe. Again, 86 figure character that we all hate. Um, I hope so. But to put a name to a figure, I'd love to get out of the movies. I'd love to have a Masterpiece Cup. I think everybody would love a Masterpiece Cup figure with interchangeable heads. So you can have like a cigar in his mouth, or you can, I don't know. I would love a Masterpiece Cup to go with Hot Rod and to go with Ultra Magnus, and the Dinobots that are also. I mean, I'd actually would like the rest of the Dinobots in Masterpiece as well. Because we've got Grimlock, but we haven't had Slag, we haven't had, the other parts, the other Dinobots. I'd like the rest of the Dinobots as well as Masterpiece, even though in essence they're not just the movie only. But yeah, I'd have to put Cup for that question. Right, next question is Dean Goodwin. What anime slash manga got you started? Well, in the beginning, uh, in the beginning, Um, it wasn't a manga that got me started. It was anime, but at the time I was too young to really know it was anime. But anyway, the main thing, the things that got me started into it was a movie called Akira, because the that was actually re-released a little bit later on, back in the nineties, late nineties, yeah, late nineties. So I actually remember it when I was younger. Um, But the main series that got me into anime was Dragon Ball Z, and then after that was Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, etc. But Dragon Ball Z was my proper love as a child, where it was anime. Dragon Ball Z was the ultimate thing. Come home from school, Dragon Ball Z, and then whatever else after that. Because Toonami was on back then, and Toonami was the best channel on Sky at that time. That's my opinion. But yeah, so I have to say that for that one. So thank you very much. Um, there we go, there's another one. Why don't cream eggs come in boxes of six anymore? That's from Adam Moore. Why don't I don't know. That is a bastard. I don't know. I'm sure I've seen boxes of six in my store. Come to think of it, I've seen boxes of eight, and I'm sure I've seen boxes of six. I could be wrong. I work at Asda if you don't know, but I'm sure I've seen boxes of six cream eggs at my place. Again, anyway, moving on. Um, Sammy, my good friend Sammy, why don't they make mint whispers anymore? I've never heard of mint whispers. We've never had that in home. We have normal whispers and we have the caramel whispers or the gold whispers. If I remember rightly, Whisper went out, was taken completely off the shelves at one point, and it came back due to popular demand. I remember that happening. So we have Whisper and the Gold Whisper, but we don't have. I've never actually heard of Mint Whispers, so I would like to try them. Is that everything? Oh, there we go. This is Adam Moore again. Two more questions from him. Um, how come some Americans don't like immigrants when they are immigrants themselves? That is a very good question, Adam. That is very true because a majority of the Americans are Irish because of the massive immigration, Irish like push, back in the early days of America. Um, and most of them are they are from different nationalities, like Latino, um, you know, you know, it's they're all from all over the place. It is pretty funny that, to be honest, some Americans, like you said, I'm not going to say all. Some Americans are extremely biased and so naive to the point where they just don't understand that they are possibly in their bloodstream down the line. They are not fully American; they're probably European, because a lot of Americans are European blood. Um, And if it wasn't for a British explorer, Christopher Columbus, you wouldn't be known. So yeah, put that one in your pipe and smoke it. Anyway, so there we go again. Adam Moore. Why don't people get hypocrisy? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where people don't get hypocrisy. To be honest, I think people are so blind to the fact of what's happening around them. It's just something that eludes people, unfortunately. And I think I'm going to bring that to an end. That's all of them. So that is it, folks. Thank you extremely for your messages, for your comments, for your questions. I hope my answers have been good and you enjoyed them. So thank you again for participating, those that did. And I'll be back very soon with more videos. Peace for now. Bye bye, and see you soon.